Have you ever looked at your woman and felt something was off, like she had just returned from another man's bed? Most men ignore the subtle cues, convincing themselves it's just their imagination. But the truth is, a woman's body and behavior always betray her, no matter how carefully she tries to hide it. From sudden shifts in energy, to avoiding your touch, to inconsistencies in her stories, these are not random. They are silent alarms most men fail to hear. In this guide, I'll reveal 6 hidden signs she just slept with another man, so you'll never be left in the dark again. Sign 1. Avoiding physical intimacy. One of the clearest hidden signs that a woman has been with another man is her sudden reluctance, or even refusal, to be physically close to you. This is not about having a headache or simply being tired. It's about an underlying shift in her desire for physical contact. A subtle withdrawal that feels different from her usual behavior. When a woman has recently slept with another man, 2 psychological forces collide. The first is physical saturation. Her body has already experienced release and satisfaction, and as a result, her interest in being intimate with you may plummet. She might dodge your attempts to hug, kiss, or hold her hand. What once was natural, leaning into your embrace, now feels forced or unnecessary to her, because her needs have already been met elsewhere. The second force is emotional guilt. Even if she doesn't consciously confess it, part of her feels she is betraying you. Physical touch, especially sexual intimacy, becomes a reminder of her secret. To cope, she subconsciously avoids situations where closeness could trigger suspicion. Instead of sitting next to you, she might choose the other end of the couch. Instead of initiating affection, she may suddenly become busy with her phone or chores. Pay attention to how she responds when you try to connect physically. Does she flinch when you put your arm around her? Does she stiffen up instead of relaxing? Does she turn her head away when you try to kiss her lips? These are not random reactions. They are defense mechanisms. Her body language is telling you something her words will never admit. Of course, every relationship has moments when physical intimacy ebbs and flows. Stress, health issues, or personal space can temporarily reduce closeness, but the key is change without explanation. If your woman was affectionate and touch-oriented just days ago, and now she suddenly acts like your touch irritates her, you must question what triggered this sudden shift. Physical avoidance speaks louder than silence. A woman who recoils from your touch is not just tired, she's carrying an unspoken weight. And when that avoidance becomes consistent and uncharacteristic, it could be the silent confession you weren't expecting. Sign 2. Sudden changes in appearance. Another revealing clue that a woman may have just slept with another man is a noticeable and unusual change in her appearance. This is not about her trying a new makeup style or experimenting with fashion. It's about small, often overlooked details that don't fit her usual routine and raise silent alarms if you know where to look. After intimacy, women sometimes unconsciously carry physical traces of the encounter. Her hair might look slightly messy, even if she quickly brushed it. There may be faint imprints on her skin, redness around the neck, a smudge of lipstick, or even marks like hickeys. These aren't always obvious, but to a careful observer, they stand out as signs that something happened. Another subtle giveaway is scent. Perfume that doesn't belong to her, the lingering smell of cologne, cigarette smoke, or even the faint odor of another man's body can cling to her clothes or skin. You might notice that her shirt smells freshly changed, but oddly, not like her usual detergent. Such details may seem trivial, but they are often the truest clues. Then there's her clothing itself. Did she change outfits at an unusual time? Is she wearing something you've never seen before? Or claiming she just found it in her closet? Pay attention to inconsistencies. If she left home in one outfit but returned in another, or if her clothes look slightly wrinkled and out of place, it's worth questioning. Even makeup can betray her. Rush touch-ups can leave foundation uneven, eyeliner slightly smeared, or lipstick reapplied too thickly. While women often refresh their look during the day, the difference between routine touch-ups and frantic cover-ups is clear when you pay attention. The important point is not to obsess over a single detail, but to notice the pattern of incongruence. A woman who normally takes pride in her polished appearance may suddenly look disheveled without explanation. Or she may appear excessively freshened up, as if overcompensating. Either extreme, too careless or too carefully adjusted, can signal that she is hiding traces of intimacy. Men often ignore these signals, dismissing them as accidents or coincidences. But in reality, her physical appearance is one of the most difficult things to fully disguise. Her body carries subtle evidence, and if you train yourself to observe, you will recognize the sudden changes that words cannot hide. Sign 3. Defensive behavior. When a woman has something to hide, especially after being with another man, her behavior often becomes strangely defensive. This defensiveness doesn't come from anything you did. It comes from the guilt and fear that she's carrying inside. Even the most innocent questions can trigger sharp, unexpected reactions. You might notice that she suddenly becomes irritated when you ask where she's been or what she's been doing. Instead of calmly answering, she snaps back with hostility, as if your curiosity is an attack. This is classic projection. Deep down, she knows her actions can't withstand scrutiny, so she preemptively goes on the offensive. By acting angry, she tries to shift the focus onto you, making you feel guilty for even asking. Another sign of defensiveness is over-explaining. Sometimes, instead of shutting down, she floods you with unnecessary details. For example, you ask a simple question like, "How was your day?" and she gives you a 10-minute story filled with irrelevant explanations. This isn't natural conversation. It's her subconscious building a wall of words to protect her secret. Ironically, the more she talks, the less believable she sounds. Body language also betrays defensiveness. Crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, or a nervous laugh when confronted with simple questions all reveal discomfort. Even subtle changes in tone, a higher pitch, talking too fast, or using dismissive phrases like, "Why do you care?" are signals that she's not just answering, she's defending herself. The key distinction is the disproportionate reaction. If you ask a harmless question, and her response is far more intense than the situation requires, something is wrong. Innocent people don't panic under simple curiosity, but a guilty conscience magnifies even the smallest inquiry into a threat. Defensiveness is not proof by itself, but it is a powerful indicator when combined with other signs. A woman who suddenly treats your normal questions like accusations is not just moody. She's protecting a secret, and the harder she tries to shield herself, the clearer it becomes that she has something to hide. Sign 4. Fragmented and evasive speech. Words can lie, but how they are delivered often tells the truth. When a woman has just slept with another man, her speech pattern can become fragmented, inconsistent, or strangely evasive. What once flowed naturally now feels forced, and even simple conversations sound like they're being stitched together on the spot. One of the most common indicators is the broken timeline. You might ask, "What did you do today?" And instead of a clear, simple answer, she pauses, hesitates, or jumps around in her story. She might skip over certain hours, or add too much detail in one area while completely ignoring another. This uneven rhythm suggests she's editing her story in real time, carefully deciding what to say and what to leave out. Another sign is contradiction. She may tell you she was with a friend, but later forget that detail and mention being somewhere alone. These small slips are not accidents. They are the cracks that appear when someone tries to maintain a false narrative. Her mind is juggling two realities: the truth she hides and the story she wants you to believe. You may also notice vague language creeping in. Phrases like, "I was just out, nothing much happened," or "I was busy with stuff." Replace the usual specifics she would normally share. While vagueness alone doesn't prove guilt, when it comes after hesitations, inconsistencies, or defensive tones, it becomes highly suspicious. Even her delivery exposes her. Stammering, unnatural pauses, or filling silence with nervous laughter are signs of discomfort. She may avoid eye contact when talking, or her voice may change pitch when answering direct questions. These are the subtle tells of someone fabricating rather than recalling genuine experiences. The essence of this sign lies in coherence. A woman who speaks openly and consistently has nothing to hide. But when her words stumble, circle back, or contradict themselves, you're not just hearing poor storytelling, you're listening to deception. Remember, men often ignore these signals because they want to trust their partner. They accept half-baked answers, convincing themselves they don't need every detail. But when her speech becomes fragmented and evasive, it's not about missing details. It's about avoiding the truth. Sign 5. Sudden lack of interest in you, love, and attraction are revealed not just through grand gestures, but in the small, consistent ways someone shows they care. When a woman has recently been with another man, one of the most painful, yet telling signs is a sudden and noticeable drop in her attention toward you. You might realize that she no longer asks about your day, your feelings, or your plans. The curiosity that once came naturally now vanishes, where she used to notice small details, like your mood, your tone of voice, or even whether you ate. She now seems indifferent. It is not laziness, it is emotional redirection. Her attention has been rerouted, at least temporarily, to someone else. This lack of interest often shows itself in conversations. She may respond with one-word answers, avoid deeper discussions, or seem distracted while you speak. What once felt like an exchange of energy now feels one-sided, as if you were talking to a wall. Her emotional investment in you has weakened because her emotional energy is being spent elsewhere. Another revealing sign is the absence of supportive behaviors. She may stop encouraging you, stop celebrating your wins, or show little empathy for your struggles. When a woman is emotionally engaged with another man, even subconsciously, she cannot fully engage with you. Her care is divided, and you feel the void. Physical presence does not equal emotional presence. She might sit next to you, but her eyes are glued to her phone. She may spend time in the same house, but her mind is far away. You sense that she is there in body but not in spirit. This emotional disconnection is often more painful than outright conflict, because it feels like you're invisible. Of course, people can become distracted by stress, work, or personal issues, but the key to notice is the suddenness of the shift. If she was affectionate, attentive, and engaged just days ago, and now she suddenly acts detached and uninterested, it raises serious questions. Indifference is the enemy of intimacy. A woman who stops caring about your world, your emotions, and your presence is silently telling you that her attention, and possibly her heart, is elsewhere. Sign 6. A sudden shift in energy and aura. One of the most powerful, yet overlooked signs that a woman has just been intimate with another man is a subtle but undeniable change in her overall energy and aura. This is not about something obvious like a new hairstyle or a different outfit. It's something deeper, something you feel rather than clearly see. When a woman has been with another man, her body releases a cocktail of hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, and prolactin. These chemicals are directly tied to bonding, relaxation, and satisfaction. As a result, she often carries herself differently. She may appear unusually calm, glowing, or even distracted, as if her mind is elsewhere. The shift can be small, but powerful. Her laughter may sound lighter, her movements more fluid, or her eyes softer than usual. To the untrained man, it may look like she's simply in a good mood, but in reality, that mood might have been fueled by intimacy you weren't a part of. On the other side of the spectrum, some women react in the exact opposite way. Instead of appearing happy and relaxed, they may become colder, distant, or strangely quiet. Why? Because guilt weighs heavily on them. Their subconscious knows they've crossed a line, and that internal conflict leaks out in the form of sudden emotional detachment. A woman who used to be warm and affectionate may suddenly act as if you are invisible. The key here is contrast. What matters is not whether she seems happier or sadder than usual, but whether her emotional state has taken a noticeable turn without any clear explanation. If you can't connect her shift in energy to work stress, family drama, or something external, you need to pay attention. Her aura doesn't lie. Imagine walking into a room and immediately sensing that something has changed. You can't put your finger on it, but it feels like the air is heavier or lighter around her. That is the hidden language of the body, and it's far more honest than words. Most men fail to pick up on this because they want to believe everything is fine. They dismiss their gut feeling as paranoia. But if your instincts tell you her vibe is off, you'd be foolish to ignore it. In relationships, we often focus too much on what is said, when in reality, what is unsaid is where the truth hides. A sudden shift in her energy, whether it's unusually cheerful or strangely withdrawn, is one of the first and clearest signals that she may have just been with another man. The hardest truths in life are often the ones we don't want to see. When it comes to relationships, ignoring the warning signs only leaves you more vulnerable. Trust is a gift, but blind trust can be a trap. The truth may sting, but it also frees you from illusions. A wise man pays attention not to excuses, but to the unspoken signals, because the body and behavior never lie. If this video gave you a new perspective, or made you reflect on your own experiences, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about these hidden signs? Have you ever noticed them before? Share your opinion in the comments below. Your story could help another man wake up to the reality he's been ignoring. And if you found this valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss future content designed to open your eyes and give you the clarity most men lack. Your support keeps this message alive and growing.